Hi, I'm Beryl, and the theme for today's episode is toast. This is our 7th toast episode. I've included the playlist in the description if you want to catch up. Today we have 5 awesome toasts from 5 awesome countries. Let's begin.
Hi Beryl, my name is Remi. I'm originally from Tokyo, Japan. I currently reside in Hawaii, America. The toast I want to talk to you about today is Natto tamago toast. In English, it is translated into fermented soybean egg toast. It doesn't sound very pleasing, but trust me, it is very good. For those who has never had natto before, all I could say is it's a fermented soybean. It's served any time of day in Japan. People typically eat it with rice, obviously. The flavor of the natto is hard to describe. It's savory, mild savory, with a soy sauce flavor with a hint of bitterness. A lot of people who try natto gets put off because the first thing they see is how slimy it is, and the aroma it gives off isn't pleasant. It is definitely an acquired taste. The reason why I like this toast is because the flavor of the natto and the egg is just so harmonious to me, and I guess a little bit of mayo just tops it off. And plus it's kind of a comfort food and easy food for me to make when I'm lazy. Why people should try this themselves is because of the fact that it's a quintessential food in Japan and not, you can't really think of anything to pair it with. And then if you pair the egg with the toast, it kind of gives natto another chance because the egg kind of counter-offs the smell of the natto, but definitely the sliminess is there. So I hope you try it out and enjoy.
This is my first time trying natto, and I am very excited. By the way, I realize that I have done so many Japanese dishes, and every time I forget to do this. Itadakimasu. Oh my god. I think that the natto itself tastes really good, and the egg salad, of course, perfection because of the kewpie. I had to look up because I was about to say slime, and then I thought, no, there's got to be a better word. The better word is polyglutamic acid. There's that kind of stickiness in the natto, and the toasting did not do anything to change that. So when you eat it, your mouth becomes very sticky and soft. It's a very interesting feeling. I've never eaten a food that's done this before. It's a textural thing, right? I feel like it makes even my lips stick together. I agree with Remi in that eating the natto with the eggs is kind of be like dipping your toe into the pool of eating something that I feel a lot of people talk smack about and are like, ew, look at this, which we don't do that on this channel. I will, however, give people that this is a food that I think might scare some people. So if you're interested in trying it, combining it with something else to kind of lessen the intensity of it is actually quite a good idea. I like that using the medium of toast, it gives you a way to explore a lot of types of specialty foods without having to make something that might feel really overwhelming and difficult. You can just make toast. Before we go to the next dish, I want to say thank you to Remi because she has an Etsy shop where she sells earrings, including these toast ones and the other earrings that I'm going to wear in the episode. I'm going to link all of them obviously in the description, and she gave us a discount code if you guys want to buy a pair of her cute earrings.
Hi, my name is Angelina. I'm from Odessa in Ukraine, but I'm currently living in Mexico. So my favorite way to enjoy toast is this dish called Forshmak. Forshmak is a Yiddish word that basically means appetizer, but it's commonly used to refer to this dish. So Forshmak is a type of herring pate, and it's really common with Jewish communities across Eastern Europe. I think each country makes it a little bit differently, but the recipe that I'm used to is the one that's common in Ukraine, and especially so in Odessa because we have a really big Jewish community there. So this dish is quite iconic. Herring is It's a little bit fishy, but not overpoweringly so. And it's really fatty. So the spread is like super creamy and buttery, especially thanks to the butter and the egg yolks. And the apple adds a lot of sweetness. So it's a really good blend of like this fatty, sweet, salty pate that's on top of like crunchy, dark toast. I really love this dish because it reminds me of my hometown and usually like going out to eat with my family or my friends. We all really like this dish, so we always order it as an appetizer, and sometimes you can eat it in someone's home as well. It's not too uncommon. Some people are kind of intimidated by cured fish because it can be quite like fishy, but you might be surprised and you might really like it. So I do recommend trying to make it at home.
Making this was really fun for me because in order to make it, I needed to buy the smoked herring. So I got to go to Brighton Beach in Brooklyn, which is right on the Atlantic Ocean coast. It's one of my favorite neighborhoods. It's a very Russian, Ukrainian, Georgian neighborhood. And whenever I go there, man, I buy a lot of stuff. I have never had this before, but I love smoked herring. So, oh my God, yeah. This is awesome. This tastes like something that my dad would definitely love, so I might have to save some for him. So like Angelina said, that this is Forshmak, which is a Yiddish word. My name, Beryl, is also a Yiddish word. In Yiddish, Beryl means little bear. The name actually comes from my grandfather. That was his nickname when he was growing up in Poland. Thought that was kind of a fun fact about me. I totally agree with what Angelina said, that the flavor of this is not very fishy, but the smell is very fishy. My kitchen definitely smells interesting. My dog was like, oh my gosh, what is going on in here? Can I have whatever it is? No, she can't have this. I think the sourness from the white onion and the Granny Smith apple and a little bit of lemon juice helps balance everything out. But at the same time, you know that you're eating a fish spread. So if you like fish, it's like the best of both worlds. The beautiful fish and the nice kind of sour saltiness of flavor to balance it out. I also want to say that I love that this is Angelina's great-grandmother's recipe, that like here I am in New York City making her great-grandmother's recipe, and because I don't have another recipe for it and I loved it so much, I'll be making it again. And in this small way, I'm like continuing a family legacy in a place very far away. And if that's not the spirit of community, like I don't know what is. So, Angelina, thank you for sharing your great-grandmother's recipe with me and with anybody else who decides to make this wonderful, wonderful dish. A big thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Function of Beauty. Function of Beauty makes high-quality custom hair care like shampoos and conditioners, and for me, somebody with quite a lot of hair, working with them is definitely on brand. I have always been somebody with very long hair, except for the brief time that I had very, very short hair. Look how cool I was. And having long hair means you go through a lot of shampoo and conditioner. Like, it just takes a lot. But I actually don't wash my hair every day. I maybe wash it once or twice a week. And because of that, I like to use higher quality shampoos and conditioners because I'm using it less. What I like about Function of Beauty is that you take a quiz online and say your hair needs, like for me, I want it to be shiny and conditioned. You can pick your own scent. I picked peach and the color because, pretty shampoo is nice. And they create a custom formula that fits exactly what you need. I actually just washed my hair and I do think it's looking very nice. If you're interested, you can get 20% off your first 16-ounce custom set by clicking the link in my profile. Okay, let's get back to the toasts.
Hey there, my name is Laura and I am from Lithuania. And I would like to present to you my favorite toast, Cottage cheese Deluxe, as we call it in Lithuania. Probably I'm the first ever Lithuanian to ever say that. Anyway, it is a very simple recipe. We take a few big spoons of cottage cheese and just put it on top of the bread. I add a little bit of cinnamon, a little pinch of salt. We add a little drizzle of honey. I love honey so much, and sometimes I even dunk the entire toast in the jar of honey. Okay, I think I've said too much. Anyway, then we take a few strawberries, we slice them up, and we place them nicely on the top. And it is sweet, it is delicious, it's pretty healthy, so chef's kiss. I usually eat this toast in the summer because that is when I have my own personal fresh strawberry supplier. That is my grandma. Fun fact, pretty much every single grandma in Lithuania grows strawberries. And also cottage cheese here is a huge deal. Probably around 80% of everything I consumed as a child somehow included cottage cheese. I really recommend this recipe to everyone, except those people who don't like cottage cheese. I don't know how that is even possible. And Beryl, I really hope you like it. I am really nervous.
Okay, before we begin, I just want to say, Laura, you cracked me up. I mean, everything about you. I love that your grandmother is your strawberry supplier. My strawberry supplier is D'Agostino's, the grocery store in New York City. I think this might be one of the first times that we are using cottage cheese on my show, and I frickin' love cottage cheese. I feel like it gets a bad rap of being like a diet food from the 80s and 90s, at least in America, but I'm a stan. I love it. I like the high-fat cottage cheese. It is just, I've had it on toast, but I've never done it sweet. I always do it savory with tomatoes. So, cheers. Oh my God, yes. Okay, hold on now. I'm obviously biased going into this because I love the main ingredient, plus strawberries, but yeah. We should all be putting cottage cheese on our toast with fruit. If you like strawberries, by the way, we did just do a strawberry episode, which is really good. Here's a quick clip. It tastes like strawberries, like a strawberry wine. After this video, you should watch the strawberry episode, because if you want to make this, you can then make all these other dishes with your strawberries. Eh? Sometimes I forget that I'm supposed to talk and I'm just eating, and then I look up and I'm like, oh God, there's a camera. I'm recording myself alone in my living room just eating now. I should say something. I think that this is the perfect blend of sweetness. If you have spicy honey, I think that would be really good on this as well. And I just feel like it's a really great way to show the world how everyone should be eating cottage cheese.
Hi everyone, I'm Oshini from Sri Lanka. My favorite way to have toast is toast with coconut sambal. In Sri Lanka, it's common to pair coconut sambal with bread, and we call this toast as Pol Sambol rospa, which translates into toasted bread with coconut sambal. The smell that comes when this bread is in the toaster, it's so good, and the taste is savory, spicy, and a little bit tangy from the lime juice, but together with the bread, it's so flavorful altogether. In our household, it's not that common to have bread in a regular basis because we eat rice for all three of our meals, but whenever we do get it, it's one of those simple pleasures for both me and my brother if my mom decides on making this toast, because we both love it, and I do hope you all will also give it a try if you can get your hands on the ingredients and enjoy it as much as I do.
I love it when this works out. It just so happened that I had Pol Sambol in my house because of my instant noodle episode where somebody from Sri Lanka put it on top of their instant noodles. So I have had this type of chutney before, but obviously not as a toast. I also like that I got to use my jaffle maker again. It's always a fun time when you bust that out. Interesting. It's spicy. I feel like maybe some of the sugars inside of the chutney caramelized a little bit because there's like a crust. Also in my teeth. I was like trying to talk through it and be cool, but the whole time I was like, ugh. I think we're good. I think Pol Sambol is one of the most interesting things that I've tried in a very long time because it takes a flavor, coconut, You then add all of these spices, so all of a sudden the coconut is spicy and your whole mouth is like dancing a little bit. It's honestly an experience. And so if you are curious in having this experience, I've linked an online store where I bought mine because I couldn't find it in New York City. I obviously know to put it on top of instant noodles, now to put it in toast, but what's like a more traditional way to use this? If anybody from Sri Lanka is watching, will you leave in the comments some other ways to use this so that I can, and if anybody else is interested in trying it, can have some other uses other than just, carb parties. I feel like this channel has just given me such an amazing opportunity to learn so much about all of you as well. When Oshini was saying that having bread was out of the ordinary, she traditionally has rice for her 3 meals a day, I was like, that is so the opposite of my life. And you could look at this as something to say like, oh, this makes us different. But this channel is about people sharing and about like coming together. And I just feel like sometimes on the internet, everyone's like yelling at each other all the time. And here it just feels like this amazing place where I can learn about you all and you all can maybe learn a little bit about me and about everybody else. And it's just like, I don't know, this toast is making me sappy, but it also is making me happy. You all just make me really happy.
Hi Beryl, my name is Shelley and I live in Toronto, Canada. Today I would like to share with you my favorite toast. It doesn't really have a formal name. Perhaps it's a sister to the more popular codfish salad from Barbados, so I guess I'd call it sardine salad on toast. The toast uses canned sardines, tomatoes, red onion, olive oil, lime, and a bit of hot sauce. This is also like a dish that my mother would eat in Barbados as a child. Even though fish is quite plentiful in Barbados, convenience products like canned sardines and salted cod are quite common ingredients in dishes there. And the thing that makes it sort of like a full circle food for me is that those convenience products were usually brought over from fisheries and canneries in the east coast of Canada. These canneries were particularly located in New Brunswick, where my partner is from. So he and I, in the course of being together, have found a lot of common foods and meals that are very similar with only like slight variations between our two cultures. This is likely a result of sort of the cultural exchange from being sort of historic trading partners. I guess overall it's a lot of meaning in a little toast, but I think people should try this dish as it is really simple to prepare. I think it tastes more complex than it is. And although I'm sure for some, fish for breakfast sounds really odd, but I'd say try it on like a warmer spring day or a summer day. So I hope you enjoy. Thanks. Bye.
I feel like in the course of this show, I have really learned to love different types of canned fish outside of tuna. I think past Beryl would have been like, oh man, canned sardines. But present day Beryl, after all of these episodes, is like, yes, I love canned sardines. This is so much better than canned tuna. This feels super vibrant, fresh, spicy from that hot sauce. Whew. Sardines are just not as fishy as I think people might expect them to be. I feel like sardines have a stereotype to me of being like the fishiest fish, but I don't think they are the fishiest fish. I love slicing onions into thin rings, but like, why are they so difficult to eat? If you've never had canned sardines, I actually think that this toast is a really great entry point because the flavors are so refreshing and fun and like lively. And I do feel like it makes the fish sing. Like this is a great toast. Oh, crap. I just cleaned the carpet. I don't get many submissions from the Caribbean, but when I do, man, they never disappoint. We've done 7 of these episodes. I don't think we need to stop. Do you? Let me know. I'll see you guys in my next video.